Your mango tree is covered in beautiful white flowers. It looks like a cloud of popcorn sitting on top of the green leaves. You feel that surge of excitement. You can almost taste the sweet, juicy fruit already. You start picking out the biggest jars for your future jam. You imagine the kids running to the tree with their hands full of sticky gold. But then, something strange happens. The flowers start to turn brown. They do not grow into little green balls. They just fall off. They drop to the ground like dry confetti. You watch them pile up under the tree. Week after week, the pile gets bigger. The tree looks bare again. You are left with nothing but empty branches and a lot of questions. Did you do something wrong? Is the tree sick? Is it too old? Or is it just bad luck? Most people think their tree is broken. They think they need to buy expensive chemicals or special fertilizers to fix it. They run to the store and spend money on things they do not understand. But here is the truth. Your tree is not broken. It is actually working exactly how nature intended. The problem is not with the tree. The problem is with what we expect from it. I am going to show you why this happens. I will show you how to stop the flower drop, and I will help you get the fruit you have been waiting for. If you want to learn the real secrets of growing food without wasting money, hit that subscribe button right now. We are building a community of growers who value plain knowledge over expensive tricks. Let's get to work. I remember my first mango tree clearly. It was a young graft, no taller than my waist. I planted it with so much hope. For 3 years, it gave me nothing but leaves. Then, in the 4th year, it exploded with blooms. I counted over 2,000 flowers. I was sure I would have 100 fruits. I watched them every day, but within 2 weeks, every single flower had fallen. I was heartbroken. I thought I had failed. I thought I was not a good farmer, but I kept studying. I kept watching. I talked to older growers who had trees twice as old as mine. They told me something that changed everything. They said, "Isaac, the tree is not failing. It is choosing." That simple idea shifted my whole perspective. I stopped fighting the tree. I started working with it. The next year, I made a few small changes. I did not buy new tools. I did not buy fancy sprays. I just changed how I cared for the soil and the air around the tree. That year, I got 12 perfect mangoes. They were small, but they were sweet. They were mine. Since then, I have helped hundreds of neighbors do the same. I have seen trees go from 0 fruit to 50 pounds in 1 season. It is not magic. It is just understanding what the tree needs. And today, I am sharing that understanding with you. Let's talk about why this hurts so much. You see those flowers and you think, this is it, this is the harvest. It is natural to feel disappointed when they fall. You might feel like you are wasting your time. You water the tree, you protect it from the wind, you keep the weeds away, and yet the reward does not come. It feels unfair. Maybe you have a small yard. Maybe you only have room for 1 or 2 trees. So when that one tree fails, it feels like a big loss. You might worry that you will never get any fruit. You might think about cutting it down and planting something else. I hear this all the time. People tell me, "Isaac, I am ready to give up." But please, do not give up. The fact that your tree is flowering is actually a very good sign. It means the tree is healthy. It means it has enough energy to reproduce. A sick tree does not flower. A dying tree does not flower. Only a strong tree flowers. So you are halfway there. You just need to cross the finish line. The issue is not that the tree cannot make fruit. The issue is that something is stopping the process right at the start. And usually, that something is very simple. It is not a disease. It is not a pest. It is often just a missing piece of the puzzle. Once you find that piece, everything clicks into place. Here is the simple explanation. Think of the flower like a door. For fruit to form, pollen must walk through that door. This is called pollination. If the pollen does not get inside, the flower closes up and falls off. It is nature's way of saving energy. The tree will not waste resources making a fruit if there is no seed inside. Now, most people think wind does this job. They think the breeze blows the pollen around, but mangoes are different. Mango pollen is heavy, it is sticky, it does not fly well in the wind, it needs a helper, it needs an insect. Specifically, it needs flies, bees, and beetles. These little workers carry the pollen from one flower to another. If you do not have these helpers, the pollen stays stuck. The flower waits for a while, then it gives up and drops. This is the #1 reason for flower drop. No pollinators, no fruit. But there is another reason. Even if the pollen gets inside, the flower might still fall. This happens if the tree is stressed. Stress can come from many places. It can come from too much water. It can come from too little water. It can come from the wrong kind of food. When a tree is stressed, it panics. It thinks, I cannot support all these babies, so it drops the weakest ones. It keeps only the strongest. This is called natural thinning. But sometimes the stress is so high that it drops everything. That is when you end up with no fruit at all. So, we have two main enemies. One is a lack of helpers. The other is too much stress. We need to fix both. Let's start with the first step. We need to invite the helpers. You cannot force the insects to come, but you can make your garden irresistible to them. Most people spray their trees to kill bugs. They see a bug and they panic. They think all bugs are bad, but this is a huge mistake. If you kill the bad bugs, you often kill the good ones too. And without the good ones, you have no fruit. So step 1 is to stop spraying anything that kills insects during the flowering season. Put away the chemical sprays. Put away the heavy oils. Let the garden breathe. Instead, plant some friends near your mango tree. Plant herbs like cilantro, dill, or fennel. These plants have tiny flowers that attract small flies and beetles. These are the exact insects that love mango pollen. You do not need a big garden. Just a few pots near the base of your tree will work. You can also leave some wild areas. Do not mow every inch of your grass. Leave a small patch of clover or wildflowers. This gives the bees a place to rest. It creates a highway for them to travel from the wildflowers to your mango tree. Another trick is to provide water. Insects get thirsty too. Place a shallow dish of water with some stones in it near the tree. The stones give them a place to land so they do not drown. This simple act can double the number of visitors to your tree. Remember, we are not trying to create a zoo. We are just trying to create a welcoming home. When the insects feel safe, they will do their job, and their job is to make your mangoes grow. The second step is to manage the water. Water is life, but too much water is death. This is a hard balance to find. Many people love their trees so much that they overwater them. They think more water means more growth, but mango trees hate wet feet. If the roots sit in soggy soil, they cannot breathe. When roots cannot breathe, they send a distress signal to the rest of the tree. The tree responds by dropping its flowers. It is trying to survive. To fix this, you need to check your soil. Stick your finger deep into the ground near the trunk. If it feels muddy or squishy, you are watering too much. Let it dry out. Wait until the top 2 inches of soil are completely dry before you water again. If you have clay soil, this is even more important. Clay holds water for a long time. You might only need to water once a week, or even less. On the other hand, if the soil is sandy, it dries out fast. You might need to water more often, but never let it stay bone dry during flowering. The flowers need moisture to stay open. If they dry out, they crisp up and fall. The key is consistency. Do not let the tree go from a flood to a drought. Keep it steady. A good rule of thumb is to water deeply, but infrequently. This encourages the roots to go deep. Deep roots are strong roots. Strong roots can support fruit. Weak roots cannot. So, watch your soil, feel it, learn its rhythm. Your tree will thank you. The third step is about food. Trees need to eat, just like we do, but they do not eat burgers and fries. They need specific nutrients. During flowering, the tree needs a lot of energy. It is working hard to make those blooms. If it runs out of fuel, it stops. Many people use fertilizer with high nitrogen. Nitrogen makes leaves grow. It makes the tree look big and green. But too much nitrogen during flowering is a disaster. It tells the tree, keep making leaves, forget the fruit. The tree listens. It puts all its energy into new green shoots. The flowers starve. They turn brown and drop. So stop using high nitrogen fertilizer when you see flowers. Instead, switch to a fertilizer that is high in phosphorus and potassium. Phosphorus helps with root and flower health. Potassium helps with overall strength and fruit quality. You can find organic options like bone meal for phosphorus and kelp meal for potassium. These are slow release. They feed the tree gently over time. They do not shock the system. Apply these around the drip line of the tree. The drip line is where the outermost branches reach. This is where the active roots are. Do not put fertilizer right against the trunk. It can burn the bark. Spread it out evenly. Water it in well. This gives the tree the right fuel at the right time. It shifts the focus from leaves to fruit. It is a simple change, but it makes a massive difference. The fourth step is pruning. This might sound scary, but it is necessary. A tree with too many branches is like a house with too many rooms. It is hard to heat. It is hard to clean. Energy gets lost in the corners. A mango tree needs airflow. It needs sunlight to reach the inner branches. If the center of the tree is dark and crowded, the flowers inside will not get enough light. They will be weak. They will drop. So, take a look at your tree. Is it a dense ball of leaves? Can you see through it? If not, it is time to trim. You do not need to cut off half the tree. Just open it up. Remove any branches that are crossing each other. Remove any dead wood. Remove any branches that are growing straight down. Focus on creating an open center. Imagine you want the sun to shine all the way to the trunk. This allows air to move through the tree. Air movement helps dry out excess moisture. It prevents fungal diseases. It also makes it easier for insects to fly around. They can navigate better in an open space. Pruning also directs energy. When you remove extra branches, the tree has fewer places to send its sap. The sap goes to the remaining branches. It goes to the flowers. It makes them stronger. Do this lightly. Do not over-prune. Just enough to let the light in. A good test is to throw a baseball through the tree. If it gets stuck, you need to prune more. If it flies through, you are good. Now, let's talk about the common mistakes. I see these every day, and they are easy to avoid once you know them. The first mistake is impatience. People want fruit right away. They see flowers and they expect fruit the next week. But mangoes take time. It can take 3 to 5 months for the fruit to mature. During this time, the tree will drop some fruit naturally. This is normal. Do not panic if you see a few small green balls on the ground. The tree is just adjusting its load, but if everything falls, that is a problem. The second mistake is over-loving. We try to help too much. We water too much. We fertilize too much. We touch the flowers too much. Sometimes the best thing you can do is nothing. Let the tree be. Trust the process. The third mistake is ignoring the weather. Mangoes are tropical. They like warmth. If a cold snap hits during flowering, the flowers will die. They cannot handle frost. If you live in an area with cool nights, you need to protect your tree. Use a frost cloth. Wrap it around the tree at night. Take it off in the morning. This simple cover can save your crop. Do not assume your tree is tough enough. Young trees are sensitive. Respect their limits. The fourth mistake is poor timing. You cannot prune or fertilize at any time. You must do it when the tree is ready. Prune after the harvest, not before flowering. Fertilize before the blooms appear, not during. Timing is everything. If you miss the window, you wait another year. So, mark your calendar, watch your tree, learn its cycle. Here is a bonus tip. This is a secret that old-timers use. It is called hand-pollination. If you have tried everything and still have no fruit, you can become the bee. It takes time, but it works. Get a small, soft paintbrush. Go out in the morning when the flowers are open. Gently brush the inside of a flower. You will see yellow dust on the brush. That is pollen. Now, move to another flower. Brush the inside of that one. You are moving the pollen manually. Do this for several flowers. You do not need to do every flower. Just a few clusters will help. This ensures that pollination happens. It bypasses the need for insects. It is labor-intensive, but it is effective. I used this method on a tree that had no visitors for 2 years. The next year, it had 20 fruits. It proved that the tree was capable. It just needed a push. You can also shake the tree gently, hold a branch, and give it a little shimmy. This helps release the pollen. It mimics the wind and the movement of insects. It is a low-effort way to boost your chances. Try it for a few minutes each day during peak bloom. It might feel silly, but it works. Another pro tip is to look at the variety. Not all mangoes are the same. Some varieties are self-fertile. This means one tree can pollinate itself. Others are not. They need a partner. If you have a non-self-fertile variety, you need another mango tree nearby. It does not have to be the same type. In fact, different types often work better together. They flower at slightly different times, which extends the pollination window. Check your tag. Ask your nursery. Know what you have. If you have a lonely tree that needs a friend, consider grafting. You can graft a different variety onto your existing tree. This turns one tree into 2. It saves space. It solves the pollination problem. Grafting is a skill, but it is not hard to learn. There are many videos on how to do it. It is a powerful tool for the home grower. Let's wrap this up. Growing mangoes is a journey. It is not a race. The flower drop is not a failure. It is a message. The tree is telling you what it needs. It is asking for helpers. It is asking for balance. It is asking for patience. When you listen, the tree responds. It rewards your care with sweet, golden fruit. Do not let the dropped flowers discourage you. Use them as a lesson. Adjust your care. Invite the insects. Check your water. Feed the right food. Open up the canopy. And if needed, lend a helping hand. You have the power to change the outcome. You do not need expensive gear. You do not need a degree in science. You just need observation and action. Start today. Look at your tree. What is it telling you? Is the soil wet? Are the branches crowded? Are there any bugs flying around? Make one small change. Then wait, watch, learn. Next season will be better. And the season after that will be even better. That is the beauty of gardening. It is a partnership with nature. And nature is a generous partner if you treat her with respect. I want to hear from you. Where are you growing your mangoes? Are you in Florida, California, Texas, or maybe a greenhouse in the north? Tell me your state and county in the comments below. Also, how old is your tree? Is it a young graft or an old giant? Sharing these details helps us all learn. We can see what works in different climates. We can help each other troubleshoot. So, drop a comment. Let's build this knowledge together, and if you found this video helpful, please share it with a friend who loves gardening. Spread the plain knowledge. Help others avoid the mistakes we made. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We have more videos coming on grafting, pruning, and pest control. We are keeping these traditions alive for the next generation. Thank you for spending your time with me. Go out there, get your hands dirty, and trust the process. I will see you in the next video, where we will talk about how to save seeds from your best fruits. You won't want to miss it. Stay wise, stay simple, and keep growing.